What's up, y'all? It's Sunday, and you're listening to the Omi Show. I am your host, Omi Bell, and I'm so excited to be here with y'all every Sunday. Listen, so we're gonna get into some stuff today. We do have a special segment that I just created off the top of my head today, and it's gonna be up next. So we're gonna have a table segment. It's gonna be Omi Homies at the table, the Omi Homies table. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, and I'm still playing around with it. Either it's gonna be Omi Homies table, at the table with Omi Homies. Up next, we're gonna have at the table with Omi Homies. But for now, I want to talk to y'all about a few things. So Valentine's Day just passed, and maybe you were with experiencing love, talking about love, reading about love. If you're online, you were definitely reading about it. One of the things I've been thinking about lately is just that um I want to experience now. So I've made a nice career for myself, and I have really been good at just the grind. To be honest, I've been grinding, going. Um, it's just been, yeah. It's been crazy. And so what that means is I've been thinking a lot about my stress level and like a chronic. I feel like I'm probably at a chronic level of stress. Like I don't know how to calm it down, peel it back, move it out, stop it. And I say that because like I don't actively feel stressed out, not all the time. It's just that the grind of entrepreneurship, like you're building a business, you're raising kids, you're working a job, you're doing your thing, you're going. So what I'm thinking through this year is the love of my life. And a lot of times people tie the love of my life to to like a person. And I'm not doing that. I am saying this year I am working to actively experience, be a part of, engage in, bring up for myself the love of my life. And that is what I'm going to be focused on. I'm going to be focused on what it means to engage in the love of my life. Like, what does that mean? And that includes my work. Like, it's interesting because people talk about love all the time. Like, oh, love what you do. Make sure you love what you do. But then you never actually, nobody ever talks about love again. After that, it's like, do you love what you do? But when you in the middle of hiring and firing people, they'll be like, do you love that? No, I don't. When you in the middle of like having to sit through these microaggressions that your coworkers giving you, you're not sitting there thinking, I love what I do. And so I'm just gonna take these microaggressions with a, turn the other cheek. No, you are not. And that is also okay. I think loving who you are while you do what you love is the key. Love who you are while you're doing what you love, because every twist and turn on your journey is going to come, and you're going to be figuring out, like, who am I now? I think that's the interesting thing about like me, like when I'm saying I want to experience the love of my life. Who am I now, and how do I love her? What does that look like? Because I'm not the same person. People ask me about my name change, and I always say I changed my name because I'm not who the person that my mother birthed. I'm not at all. I'm nowhere near that person. I'm not the same person. I don't think the same. Over these last 10 years have been transformative for me. I just turned 42 on um on last week. How about that? Clap it up for me. If you wherever you are in your car, you know what I'm saying, clap it up like y'all can do that. Let me see if I can clap it up for me just turning 42. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know what? Why do we actually clap for people for us just being alive? Like, I don't really do much but walk over here and sit down, but that deserves a round of applause too. Like, thank you for clapping for me. It's not like I went over the hills and through the woods and now that's what you're clapping for. I defied something to get here, like defied a big bad wolf. Like, how about that? Like, and maybe the stress in your life is a big bad wolf. Like, I defied a big bad wolf who to get here, right? But it's like, yeah, thank y'all for clapping for me turning 42, though. I appreciate that. But honestly, it is a big deal but it wasn't that hard of a feat compared to what Little Red Riding Hood had to go through. Okay, Little Red Riding Hood was spotted by the big bad wolf for wearing a red cape. Why the hell was she wearing a red cape anyway? Okay, like your car insurance goes up if you drive a red car. So didn't nobody tell her mama to tell her, hey, obvious much. You don't want to get caught by this wolf in the woods, honey. You need to wear camouflage. Okay, there's animals in the woods. Hello. I think these are indications of privilege. Okay. Why is she surprised that there's animals in the woods and they might spot her with this red with this red cape on? This is the worst form of privilege. Her problem is people kept clapping for her because she was alive. You see what I'm saying? In fact, when I think about it, that's what's wrong with half of y'all. Half of y'all can't get it together because people just clapping for y'all for no reason. Right? Your parents was clapping because you peed in the potty. You're like, yes, I deserve that. Clap for me. Today's workforce is moving a little different than it used to move because people don't have the same grit in the grind. Now, in the beginning of this conversation, I talked about my stress level, right? I'm not saying I want you to be that, but I'm also not saying that if I ask you to do two things, you're like, that's not in my skill set. I don't know how to create a deck. It's like, go look it up. Google University. What's that? So, it's like they see people clapping for people for no reason is what's wrong with a lot of y'all, right? Like that's what's wrong with Donald Trump. People keep clapping for him. That's what's wrong with Kanye. People keep clapping for him. Herschel Walker. People keep clapping for him. People just keep clapping. That's what's wrong with Congressman Santos. In fact, Congressman Santos, people weren't clapping at all. He lied about him clapping because he wanted to hear a round of applause. Now you know you got problems if you lie about a round of applause. Okay, you got to be super strange to lie about a round of applause. Okay, no, I'm joking. That he didn't actually lie about a round of applause, but I don't doubt that he would. Okay, he didn't lie about everything else. Moral of the story is there is no moral. We just have a conversation and to think about um, your purpose, doing what you love. Do you love who you are while you are doing what you love? There's a Japanese concept called ikigai. Ikigai is a concept of referring to something that gives a person a sense of purpose and a reason for living. And so I think it's really a really interesting concept. I mean, the term iki means alive or life, and gai means benefit or worth. And so when you combine the terms, it means that which gives your life worth, meaning, or purpose. And so, are you thinking about that? I'm sure at some point in life, it comes to us. Am I doing what I'm purposed to do? Am I doing what's meaningful to me? Am I making the choices that I want to make? For the most part, do I have enough people clapping for me? Is your circle? If your circle ain't clapping for you, then I don't know what to tell you. But have them balance the clapping and accountability, because that's what's wrong with some of these other folks. The clapping and accountability is off. Okay. um, but I think ikigai, Ikigai, ikigai. And so it's a really interesting concept. I saw this post about it on Instagram, and I thought, ooh, I want to mention that on my show. Ikigai can describe having a sense of purpose in life as well as being motivated. And some days you feel motivated, some days you don't. And that's okay. Get back to your ikigai. Ikigai. I love that. I like actually just saying it. Okay. Today on today's show, got a couple things coming up. We got hot topics with Omi Homies at the table. At the table with Omi Homies coming up right after this. And then for our last segment, I'm going to talk a little bit more about love. I'm going to talk about some current events. Talk about these eggs. Talk about the UFOs being shot down out there. So y'all keep it locked right here. You listen to the Omi Show. It's Sunday. It is noon. And y'all know who it is. I am Omi Bell. Keep it locked right here. We'll be right back after this. This is Sirius XM Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. What's up, y'all? You're listening to the Omi Show. I am Omi Bell. And guess what? We got a new segment today. Y'all know I'm always trying to think of segment titles. I honestly don't know what we're going to call it. Let's say the table. Omi Homies at the table. There we go. Omi Homies joining me today. We're going to call this segment the table. That may not stick, so y'all just roll with me no matter what I call it. And so My Omi homies at the table today. I got 3, maybe 4 people, some more people rolling through. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna go over hot topics. So we're gonna talk about this Rihanna performance. We're gonna talk about what's happening with eggs and whoever, whatever else comes up. Okay, y'all. Like I said, roll with it. We're gonna have some fun, have some conversations, and I love this because I naming it a table I think it's significant just because I'm always talking about bringing people to the table. And any tables that I go to, I want to bring people to. And so SiriusXM should not be any different from anywhere else that I'm going, ringing the bell, whatever the case. And so here we go. All right, so I'm gonna have everybody introduce themselves, and they're gonna say like their name and their company and where they are located. In case they are located anywhere near any of you, that means they are representing you. All right, here we go. Let's start. Let's go. Shyla, Chelsea, Chris.
Hey y'all, I'm Shyla. My company name is Worker Bee Interactive. I'm currently located in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, Chelsea, where you at? Where you from? What you know? What's your name?
My name is Chelsea Elliott. I'm the founder and CEO of SomoCom Lab, the Social Emotional Communication Lab, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, Chris, what's up, girl?
Howdy ho. So my name is Chris. I am co-founder of the WIM Sisterhood. It's a virtual country club for business women who work remotely. And I am originally from Houston.
So, just telling the people the truth, I just dragged them in here. Okay, they were not ready. They did not know they was coming today. They did not know they would sign up for this. But I woke up and I said, you know what? Let's just have a segment where multiple people to just come in and talk. So I'm just gonna really honestly ask you, like, how are y'all feeling? How you feel? You like what the heck?
You
I'm
know, we
here.
are always down for some Omi shenanigans. So we were coming. All you had to say was word one.
Thank y'all
Same.
so much for joining.
I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna jump into it. Did y'all see Rihanna's performance at the
Now,
Super
you know
Bowl?
we did.
Yes.
So I saw a post on Instagram that said, "Oh, like first of all, I hate when people just keep shaming entrepreneurs over multiple things happening in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, people during the pandemic were saying things like, "Oh, you should have had X amount of revenue saved up anyway."
Mm.
What,
Mm.
whatever. Okay, clearly they wasn't business owners, or they came from a different era of business ownership than today, in my opinion. So with the Rihanna performance, I saw a Instagram post that was saying like, "Oh, and look at that. She did that. She, performed for free because of the exposure." What are your thoughts on like what do y'all think about doing things for free? I'm sure as an entrepreneur, people have asked you to either speak for free, show up for free, do something for free, give some product away, give some service away for free. But here Rihanna is performing for free. What are your
I
thoughts?
think you weigh the options. I think, we, like you said, we are all asked to do things for free, give things for free.
Mm-hmm.
And you weigh the ROI on that side, right? Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Clearly for Rihanna, I mean, I don't know. Sis does own a whole $1 billion company that she built from the ground up. She may have made a determination as a businesswoman that this particular event, the ROI was there for her, whether it was monetary or it was socially, right? Because for all we know, Rihanna was out there because she was like, listen, I want to come out. I want to have my pregnant moment like on the stage. Like it may have just been a personal ROI for her. And I find that to be okay.
Yeah, I think I saw there was like a 833% increase in like searches for her. And because she did that one real quick pat with her makeup, boom, like sales. So I don't think anything is ever done for free. It takes our time, it takes our energy, it takes our resources. But as long as the return, like you said, as long as the return is there, um, I know now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur, it's hard to do things for free, but at the same time, each free opportunity has led to something where money came, and I've never had to be in fear of that. So there does have to be some type of a return at some point, but you just weigh the options. The Super Bowl is big.
I agree. It doesn't have to be a financial return. It can be mental, emotional. So different shows for different folks. I definitely agree with giving free services because I wish people would give to me. And people have sown into me.
Okay, so right now, I'm like, hey y'all, I need y'all to give. Well, y'all giving free time right now, so I can't even be the example. But I was saying, right now, random customers like, hey, I need, an hour of your services, and 2 of your products for free. Would y'all be like, yeah, sure, here you go?
No, it ain't that quick now. Hold on. Hold the phone. Now, Omi Homies, like you come over, you ask a question. It's yeah, I mean, we got 20 minutes, we'll pop in, but it ain't never gonna be a quick conversation. It's something where we have to weigh some things back and forth there. So yeah, no, it ain't that quick.
Right, exactly. We got to make sure our visions align. If not, then no, I just don't want to give you services.
So here's the thing behind it. One, Super Bowl performers don't get paid a lot anyway. If they get paid minimum. And it is because the idea of the exposure, right? But they also pay for everything. So you don't pay for anything. I think the thing that my comment under that post was people be out here asking us to pay for their flight, the hotel, your services, everything for free. So every dancer, was probably paid, but they weren't paid by her. You had all the clothes, all the floating stage, all the equipment, all the band, all those people were paid. All of that was paid for. So she didn't have to pay anything. Another thing that she did that I haven't seen anybody else do was she maximized the hell out of it. Like she had game day clothes that she sold on Savage by Fenty, which I bought. And she had I didn't see any makeup, but she had like the clothes. I don't know. I didn't look at the makeup site. I only looked at the
It was
clothes
a
site.
Fenty deal.
And then right after it was a Fenty deal. Okay, I didn't see it. Right after her show was over, she sold the bras that they had on. I mean, not the literal bras, but y'all know what I mean. She's that would have been weird. But she sold the versions of the bras on the site. Now I wanted the jacket. She didn't sell the jackets. I'm like, if she put these jackets on sale, I'm buying one of these jackets. But she didn't put a jacket.
Yeah, I would have been.
But what about the performance itself?
So she's pregnant. And I thought that it was amazing what all she was able to do while being I've had 2 children and I could barely move. I was exhausted. And for her to be moving and floating in the air, that was a lot. Like I thought that was a lot. I thought it was a great performance. People have been wanting her to come back out and she did her thing. So I thought it was great.
I think people got a lot of daggone opinions about other people doing their job. And I think that's where we started. It's like people tend to have a lot of quarterbacking, like what do they call it, Monday night quarterback or whatever, Monday morning quarterback. People tend to have a lot of daggone opinions, and that's where I draw the line. This woman went out, she did her job. Her job was to come out there and sing her hits, and she did that. And then she maximized on it. So if we watch it close enough, there's so many little things. Like that jacket, that was paying homage to somebody who was really important to her, was really important to the culture. So,
oh, wait. I didn't know.
Yeah, it was paying homage to Andre Talley.
Yeah.
Oh, why did he create the jacket?
He wore it in. It was a cover that he wore it on, and apparently he and Rihanna were really close. And see, that's another lesson for us. You never know who knows whom, okay, and how tight they are.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I feel like he didn't get his just due anyway. So no, I'm glad he was from Durham, North Carolina. Woo, woo, that's where I'm from. And so I watched his story, and I hate that I didn't know as much as I wanted to know about him while he was living. Like I found out so much about him after he passed away, and they talked about the Devil Wears Prada. The man in the movie was actually him. That was actually patterned after him.
I didn't know that.
So the man that worked alongside. So the woman is supposed to be Anna Wintour. And the man that is the man that's beside that's kind of helping out the little girl, not little girl, she's an old woman, but the woman who the woman who's like flustered and having such a hard time. The man that worked alongside Anna Wintour that was helping out was supposed to be
him. Wow, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
See the things
I did not know that.
Yeah, that also came out after I feel like I feel like that was a debate maybe when the movie came out, but I feel like it came out more after he passed away.
Absolutely. And that's how it goes. We get to honoring, and that's the thing. Folks gonna look back on this Rihanna performance after she passes and remember how she got up on these floating stages, second baby, like in less than a year, going on, marched across. Like she didn't do a Rihanna performance that we knew 10 years ago, but shoot, I dare somebody right now to go do what you did 10 years ago. Good luck, and do it pregnant.
So the person we're talking about is Andre Leon Talley. If you Google him, is actually one of the first images that pops up is him with the jacket on. He was a fashion journalist, a stylist, and creative director and editor at Vogue magazine from about 1983 till 2013,
Yep.
which is wow. He died January 2022. So that is, I actually didn't know that was her paying homage,
right? Isn't that beautiful? But look at how much we missed. Like, part of the reason you missed that, and part of the reason that a lot of people missed it, is because we were focused on what she didn't do rather than what she did do.
No. Part of the reason I just didn't know that part. But I looked at the jacket like that looked super heavy for a pregnant woman. That's what I was thinking. Then I was thinking, well, maybe it's hiding where they also have her attached to the platform. That was my other thing. Then the platform wobbled a little bit. I'm like, oh shoot, she needs to take that jacket off. Don't move, girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know that I missed it because I wasn't paying attention to that part. I was paying attention to, like, I hope she is safe. Like, the floating stage was amazing. Hands down, in my opinion, the best in terms of the visuals for the Super Bowl performance. Like, we've seen Prince like light up, you know, his guitar, his cymbal, whatever. We saw like the Katy Perry and Missy performance where they had like these really interesting visuals with the like the bars of the stage. Like, that was awesome. But this floating stage, like, looking at that in like an image where you couldn't see the lines was just like, wow, that looks crazy. So I was worried that the jacket was too heavy. The big jacket, the bigger one at the end. I was like, oh my God, like, is she safe?
Yes.
That was
like, but see, that's love. That's love. You looked at that show with love in your eyes, so you're more concerned about, like, is this gonna be all right, rather than, well, where's the extra stuff? You know, where the extra people? Why the camera isn't pointing this way and pointing that way? And when I say we probably missed it, part of the reason we missed it, like, at the end of the day, we get a lot of our information, or at least the heads up to information, on social. So it was almost as soon, because I didn't watch it live. But as soon as she hit the stage, everybody had all these negative comments. What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Da 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 da. Y'all ain't even seen the damn performance. I don't know if we can curse on here.
You can curse this serious. It is Sunday though, so I don't know if everybody on their way home from church or what. But
I know there was another perspective that people, of course, were saying that it was like a satanic kind of thing because she was wearing all red and she's looking, and I'm just like, can y'all find some business? Like, you have nothing else to do, really, but think that people that are successful, Black people that are successful, are satanic. Like, that's all I kept saying, and it was very annoying.
I mean, being that this is on Sunday, right? And we might as well go ahead and talk about it. So let me say this: I ain't never seen more Christians looking for the devil.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, looking for it. Like,
preach.
That's it right there. That's the like. I don't even understand. It's like every single thing is like, oh no, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna play these records backward.
Yeah.
We're gonna chop and screw these records so we can try and listen for the devil. Like, you know, that's why I'm big on people being like, I'm just playing devil's advocate. How is all these Christians advocating for the devil? Lord knows, I don't understand it. I swear, how it's satanic when you the one looking for Satan and we out here trying to party. I don't understand. So that part is beyond me.
I'm fully in agreement with you, Omi. We I mean, they be blowing up pictures, blowing them up and stopping it in the right place. You know, I mean, hell, if you stop this video right now, you probably find all kinds of satanic stuff.
Kind of like when we was kids and we used to look at the clouds like, oh, I see a dog right there. They putting too much into it.
That is a great way to put it.
Yep.
And look, that's you know what? The way you just said it is a great way to put it. Now, No, what's interesting about it is I love that like what you just said about like the idea of like looking up at the clouds and then and then seeing things that you want to see. That's
Hmm.
such a good way to put it,
Yeah.
Shala.
If you're
Agree.
looking for it, you're gonna find it. So if you're looking for a dog in the clouds, you're gonna find a dog in the clouds. You're looking for Satan in every performance, you're gonna find Satan in every performance. Like,
Them Christians be having one job to advocate for God, but they talking about advocating for the devil so much. I'm trying to get over there to that side too. Like I gotta try it out.
Listen, you know, Chelsea, you just said a whole word because when you said when you look up and you're like, if you wanna see it, you'll see it. How about this though? If you've never seen it, then you can't see it.
Ooh.
Hello?
Ooh.
yeah,
That's a word.
Okay?
That's a
yeah,
word.
You can only see it if you've seen it before.
If you know what you're looking for.
yeah.
So, okay, what we talking about? And the Bible ain't telling us what 2023 devil's
No.
looking like. So,
Yo, I see.
Apparently it's all over the media.
Right. Check your TikTok.
Yeah.
I
Right.
see so with somebody, I mean, and they go so far. They added together 2021, 2022, and 2023, which apparently, for those of us that are not mathematicians, it comes out to 6066. And then you take out the zero, and then you got 666.
ooh, it's Christians doing Nations of Gods and Earth math though. Okay, so anyway, that's another conversation. We got to go to break. So thank y'all so much for joining me. This has been the table with Omi Homies, and I want to have more Omi Homies join. So make sure that y'all always text in. If you haven't already, text Hey to 202-918-4483. Text Hey HEY to 202-918-4483 for your chance to come to the table for our Omi Homies at the table segment. I'll be sending out the word about that soon. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Keep it locked right here. We got another segment coming up. I'm Omi Bell, and you're listening to The Omi Show. And we're back. You listen to The Omi Show. I am Omi Bell. You are listening to The Omi Show. Thank you so much. All right, we got a couple more topics to jump into. I don't know if you've been following any of the Web3 things that are happening. Um, and I say that, let me take a step back because I think we all might have been using Web3. Yeah, Web3 this. Yeah, Web3 that. But I don't know if anybody actually has sat down and defined for us what Web3 is. So Web3 is an idea for a new iteration of the World Wide Web, which incorporates concepts such as decentralized blockchain technologies and token-based economies. Some technologists and journalists have contrasted it with Web 2.0, wherein they say data and content are centralized in a small group of companies referred to as big tech firms. So basically, you know how you be like, oh, this is me 2.0, this is me part two. So we already didn't had a part two, is basically what they're saying. And they're saying that like part three includes decentralized technologies and blockchain. So what is blockchain? Like I want to be the one to break this down because I feel like nobody told us what this was. All of a sudden, people start saying, Web 3, and then we're like, wait, what is Web 3? Oh, we had Web 2.0, which was focused on content and data, and now Web 3 is going to be focused on blockchain technologies and token based economies. Now, decentralization is also a part of that. So as we go to a great place called Google, what Google is decentralized mean? Like, what does that mean? So basically, that means that several offices or more than one authority, basically. So when we talk about a decentralized internet, it's like decentralization or decentralization. Those regarding decision making are distributed and delegated away from a central location or group. So I think that sounds crazy, right? Because we're like, it's the internet. It's not centralized anyway. What are we talking about when we say decentralized? That means that like building critical components of infrastructure, including storage, meaning more cloud storage, a resilient global network where no one person or entity could take it down or control access. So some of the things that people are a little bit afraid of is that when we're talking about decentralized, it still feels like there's a who involved. Like it still feels like it's not just like, oh, it's a democracy. Everybody gets in. It still feels like even though you're decentralizing, is it the people with the most privilege that get in and understand it and know what to do exactly? I think that people are still even trying to figure out what blockchain is or what what that means. Artificial intelligence is also a part of Web3. So let's see. What is blockchain, Google? A system in which a record of transactions, especially those made in a cryptocurrency, is maintained across computers that are linked in a peer-to-peer network. Well, that doesn't tell us anything. Blockchain is a it doesn't. So okay. Let's see if we can get it more simple. A distributed database that maintains a continuously growing list of ordered of records called blocks. Huh. Okay, now that makes more sense to me because I don't know if you were back in the day when we used to use Microsoft Access, which I hated and was like a ridiculous program that needed to be revamped, which I'm glad they did eventually. Um, each block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, a timestamp, and transaction data. So the easiest way that I think I could put it is imagine that like I don't even want to say bricks on a house because all those bricks kind of make up one thing and all the blockchain may not make up like a specific, thing from here or there. But each block, let's take Legos. There you go. Right. Let's say each Lego has its own storage inside of it, um, its own timestamp, its own transaction data. It is an individual piece and it's considered unique every time. So it's considered unique. It's considered immutable, I guess you can say. And I think there are ways that things can be tracked, but it is digitally distributed. One of the big court cases that's happening this week though, or last week, yeah, I believe it was Hermes International was victorious in a suit against a digital artist called Mason Rothschild. So Rothschild decided to create a Meta Birkin, a non-fungible token that leaves a free speech. Okay. Again, we got to break it down because we got what blockchain is. Multiple blocks. Each block contains a specific set of data. So let's break down what is a token. I don't know, if you know out there, then this part of the segment may not be for you. But this is for my people who are out there like, okay, blockchain, okay, token. I got some cryptocurrency, but I don't really know what I'm doing with it. I don't really know what it looks like. So the blockchain ecosystem is any asset that is digitally transferable between two people is called a token. These tokens are issued on a blockchain, most often Ethereum. Depending on the properties assigned to them, they have different classifications and uses. Oh gosh, I feel like it's getting more and more. I feel like it's getting more and more crazy. Because then you have coins, and then you have blockchains. So coins are native to their blockchains. Tokens are created on existing blockchains. The functionalities of coins and tokens often overlap. Is anybody out there confused? Just a little bit? A little bit confused? Kind of trying to figure it out? I'm gonna have to bring in somebody. I'm gonna have to bring in a specialist to talk about this. Because as we think about like how we're going to provide safety and how we're going to massively have people kind of adapt this blockchain technology and how we use things and what are the benefits of it. So like, what's the difference between coins and tokens? Why do we need to be decentralized? Why do we need to think about decentralization? How much value is actually inside of the blockchain? And then like, what does it mean? So blocks chain to each other. How are we unable to track it? I'm just posing a lot of questions right now because if you're out there and you're listening, I want you to tweet me these answers. So make sure you're following at the Omi Bell on Twitter, because I'm suspecting that people listening to me right now that do get it, they're gonna be sending me lots of tweets, and I want to be retweeting them and telling y'all exactly what everything means because I'm smart. So I want to say, like, if you out there, you're thinking to yourself, like, I'm smart, and I still don't know what all this stuff means. Then you may be feeling a little bit incompetent, or you're in the meetings with people, and you're like, ugh, I don't really know, you know, um, I don't really know, what it means. I don't know, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to trust it? Am I supposed to not trust it? And I think like we have a lack of like in general. I think people have a lack of trust for the government. Now, these decentralized communities and cryptocurrency and all that is not necessarily related to what the government it can govern at this moment. That's why it's decentralized. So they can't govern it because it's decentralized. But this particular court case with the Meta Birkins, which if you were out there thinking, well, I can't get me a real Birkin, maybe I can get me a Meta one, I probably was right along with you. A 9-person jury in Manhattan federal court found last week that Rothschild's NFTs, which linked to digital images of Hermes' famous Birkin handbag covered in colorful faux fur, infringed on Hermes' trademark rights. Rothschild's attorney have already signaled they plan to appeal the decision. Only the first at the intersection of NFTs and IP laws, intellectual property law. This is such a big deal because it's an unprecedented case, and now this case becomes precedent for anybody out there that's creating art, turning it into NFTs. NFT stands for non-fungible token, and that's where it becomes like a particular uh unique property, right? And it's not a unique property if you are, well, the way that what they're basically saying is it's not a unique property if you've actually copied from someone else. So here we go. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court is set to review another trademark case, testing the boundaries of the free speech balancing test from the Second Circuit's ruling in Rogers versus Grimaldi, which governs the unauthorized use of marks in expressive works that add up to a lot of uncertainty for courts about how to decide whether such NFTs really run trademark rights. NFTs imposing on trademark rights is interesting because if this is decentralized, right, meaning that like the blockchain in this world of Web3, no one has control over it, then technically it's a complete second life. And I think that's the thing to kind of understand is that really this is supposed to be like Web3 would be a complete second and separate life, right? Meaning it wouldn't be governed by U.S. laws, any country's laws. It wouldn't be governed by local governments, state governments, things like that. It would be like that is a life that's online, way over there, using technologies that give you unique properties, using technology. So that way, so like in the world of in the quote unquote regular world, I don't know. In the regular world, what's happening when you're thinking about these, when you think about intellectual property rights, is that is saying like this is mine. I filed to make sure that nobody had this thing that was like mine, and in the same way that I have it, IP it can include trademarks and copyrights and patents, right? Therefore, nobody else can have it, and that is governed by law. Well, if in Web3 it is decentralized, it can't be if law can govern whether or not IP or what's created there can even be considered intellectual property, right? So that's where it gets a little sticky, and that's where people are kind of like, oh, the what Mason Rothschild's attorney was attempting to fight it on the basis of free speech. I don't know. And again, I would have to get more deep into this case to figure out like how could you even fight that off the basis of free speech? Like how could you I don't know. Because again, if it's decentralized, free speech would actually be a on land problem. I'm gonna call it on land. And not a decentralized problem. In decentralized land, and there is a there is a decentralized platform called Decentraland, but I'm not talking about that one in particular. In the world of things being decentralized, that would mean that you can't really say that it's yours or mine unless it is uniquely coded on the blockchain. And that is where it's just we're still kind of in the dark about what all that means. And I'm not saying that that means we shouldn't do it. I want to be clear that I am not saying we shouldn't progress or we shouldn't think about how these things will affect everybody or we shouldn't think about how to engage in them. I think we're at a point where there's a need for innovation. Speaking of that, as we're gonna play a clip from me testifying in front of Congress. So last week I had the opportunity to testify in front of Congress about the accredited investor definition. Now, I want to talk y'all through how my experience with, but here's a quick clip of me testifying in front of Congress. My name is Shelly Omi Bell. Please call me Omi. And I'm the CEO and founder of Black Girl Ventures.
This hearing is entitled Sophistication or Discrimination: How the Accredited Investor Definition Unfairly Limits Investor Investment Access for the Non-Wealthy and the Need for Reform.
Good morning, Subcommittee Chair Wagner, Ranking Member Sherman, Chairman McHenry, Ranking Member Waters, and esteemed members of the Subcommittee on Capital Markets. In 2016, I read a report that Black women in the U.S. were starting businesses at 6 times the national average, yet receiving less than 1% in venture capital. In 2023, that has not changed. I launched Black Girl Ventures from a living room in Southeast D.C. with this statistic in mind and history as an inspiration.
You each have incredible life stories. I'm going to start, Ms. Bell, with you. You are an inspiration to my 5 young daughters, so hopefully they can follow in the incredible lead that you've led.
And so when we don't diversify the access, we're also holding back people who understand us. It's almost like when you think about the reason that we need diversity in healthcare is we need more diverse doctors who understand more diverse people. It's the same thing with investing. We need more people with diverse mindsets who understand how Black and brown people spend their money.
So I'm wondering, can you build wealth without risk?
Thank you. No, you can't build anything without, you can't build a shelf without risk. I mean, I think it's fair to say that when you journey into entrepreneurship, that entrepreneurial spirit, you're going in knowing that you're taking a risk.
I can guarantee you Ms. Bell ain't no sucker.
I'm grateful for the subcommittee's attention to this issue, and I look forward to working with you as our conversations continue, because quite frankly, change can't come soon enough for the founders we serve at Black Girl Ventures and thousands of Black and brown business owners across the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell, and congratulations to you.
Okay, so what you just heard was a quick clip of me testifying in front of Congress last week. Now, let me talk to y'all about it. Okay, so you have to prepare. So first, you get an invite. How did I get this invite? I was on a panel for the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, to talk about the accredited investor definition. So for those of you who don't know, you can become an accredited investor if you have a certain level of wealth, meaning you make $200K plus a year for 2 years consecutive, or if you're married, you make $300K plus for your household, or you have $1 million net worth, not including your primary residence, so on and so forth, about wealth. And then at the end, they kind of throw in and if you know enough. Not literally like that. But Congress did make some steps toward making this not just be about wealth by including certain certifications that you could get. However, they still maintained the rule about wealth inside of the definition, and those certifications are just not easy to find or easy to figure out how to get. So it still wasn't like a wide open, like, hey, we can really get more people involved quite yet. Now, the hard part for me is the idea that that you may have to pick a side of Congress versus the right side of the topic. And I really feel like that's just not a me problem. I feel like this is a challenge that multiple Americans are facing, is that you feel like you got to pick a side of the government, meaning Republicans, Dems, Democrats, or, be independent. You got to pick a side that agrees with a certain thing versus actually looking at the topic with an objective eye and deciding, no, we want to focus on this topic in a certain way. So it was sort of nerve wracking. I was nervous. I'm never really nervous. So this was different for me for being nervous. During the congressional hearing, Congresswoman Maxine Waters walked in, and I was just like, oh, I froze. It was like I had like a moment of like, oh my God, this woman is an icon, and she's on the side that I was not testifying for. Okay, so the majority wants to loosen the reins on the accredited investor definition, and the minority wants to tighten the reins and even create a higher bar for the level of wealth you have to have. Me and the people that the majority brought in, our consensus is that wealth is not a great indicator for how sophisticated you actually are with your finances. And that's the word. The word is sophistication. And so part of the hearing topic was sophistication or discrimination. The need to reform this idea of wealth could possibly indicate how sophisticated you are financially, which means you're sophisticated enough to know how to invest your money. If you are an accredited investor, the reins are pretty free on how much of your wealth you can invest. When it's called Regulation D is what people are fundraising under when it comes to the accredited investor definition. Then there is Regulation CF, which is Reg CF, which is crowdfunding, and that one says you can invest up to 5% of your wealth. But it has to be you can only invest up to a certain percent in crowdfunded equity, and you max out at a certain point. So long story short, it was really interesting preparing. I had to prepare a statement. You write a statement, and then you have your speech, your 5 minute comments, your 5 minute speech, and then the Congress people can ask you questions, and then those things go on the record. The going on the record part is really interesting because I read back through the SEC roundtable and it was on the record, and I noticed all the times I was saying and yeah, and I'm like, dang. So this time around, I want to make sure that I was doing the record, setting the record straight. No, I want to make sure that I was doing well on the record in the way I would be talking about it. I will tell y'all more about this next show. We're actually running out of time, and I hate that because I have so much I want to tell y'all about it. But I'm glad I got an opportunity to see the clip. We'll also tweet out where you can actually go look at the entire congressional hearing. But it is important that we get involved at this level. So, that was actually week before last. I said last week. No, yeah, week before. Yeah, it was last week. Last week, this week, it depends on how you define it. But it would be last week. And then this week, I actually was on a panel for my local government in Fairfax County and on a panel with the USPTO. I'm going to talk about all this and more at the beginning of our first segment on next Sunday, because I really want to tell y'all about how important. Well, it's not that I want to stress the importance of getting involved at the policy level, because I feel like I have a highly intelligent audience that pretty much gets that we need to be involved at the policy level. But the way that it feels honestly more impactful than any other speech that I've ever done. Like being in that room, being in the room about my local government, being in the room, it just does. It does. I'm going to continue to talk about this feeling. Really urge y'all to go to council meetings, get on the docket, say what you got to say. It is important. But it's Sunday, y'all, and we only get an hour. I would love to spend way more time with y'all. Thank y'all. I want to say thank you to all the women who came for the table, Omi Homies table, to chat with us today. I loved it. Shyla, Chelsea, Chris, they gave some really great insight and just chopped it up with me. We're going to do like the table with the Omi Homies more. So make sure, just for that and other things that I got going on, make sure you text HEY to 202-918-4483. Make sure you buy the book, Originate, Motivate, Innovate, 7 Steps for Building a $1 Billion Network, available for pre-order now on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, Walmart. Go get yours. Follow me at the Omi Bell, at Omi Bell on Instagram. And y'all, I'll be right back here next Sunday, chopping it up, telling y'all what's what, letting y'all know what it is, what it ain't, and where it's gonna be. I am Omi Bell. You have been listening to The Omi Show. Have a great rest of your day. This is Sirius XM Urban View Channel 126, where talk empowers, and becomes action.